What's good guys, Haben here back with another solo video. Today I'll be reviewing the top 10 best moments in Naruto. There's so many impactful moments in Naruto that I actually had difficulty making this list because there's just so many good options to choose from. I mean, it does make sense, Naruto does have roughly 700 episodes and multiple incredible arcs, so you'd expect to have lots of impactful moments. Let's get right into it with our honorable mentions. In no specific order, I have the 4 Hokages getting revived. Seeing all the coffins rise up and bust open with Hashirama, Tobirama, Hiruzen, and Minato was legendary, especially since up to that point we have only heard things about the 1st, 2nd, and 4th Hokage, but didn't actually get a chance to see enough of them. And then they started joining the battle and started kicking butt, which was amazing. Next, I have Naruto coming to terms with Kurama. Up to that point, Naruto hadn't been able to fully use Kurama's power, and for most of the story was basically letting Kurama take over, and watching them finally come to terms with each other and understand one another really did help both their growth. Definitely an underrated moment, but Team 7 getting back together during the 4th Great Ninja War isn't talked about enough. Although in OG Naruto they weren't really fluid together, they were still such an entertaining group, and to see Sasuke part ways really hurt. But watching them finally come back together during the war, fighting gave me OG Naruto vibes. Next, the village finally acknowledges Naruto, definitely has a spot in hopefully everyone's heart. Poor Naruto just wanted to be accepted by the village when he was younger, and finally got his wish after defeating Pain and saving the village during the Pain arc. You could not wipe the smile off that boy's face. And finally, an extremely iconic moment that should probably be in the top 10, but I wanted to give others a chance, the 1000 Years of Death. No explanation needed. I don't know how or why Kakashi invented this move or who else was a victim, but Naruto took that shit whole.
Pause.
Now that I've concluded my honorable mentions, let's start with number 10, Rin dying / I'm in hell. With the amount I talk about Obito on this channel, there's no way he wouldn't slip into the top 10. It's the way Obito was so cheerful to bring the gang back together and then quickly get denied as he watches Kakashi pierce a hole through Rin's heart that just makes it so intense. Just the look of defeat on Kakashi and Obito's face just shows how devastating this truly was. Right before Kakashi faints, they both awaken their Mangekyo Sharingan, and Obito gets to work hacking away at the blood Miss Shinobi. And I mean hacking away. Obito was not holding back one bit, stabbing them, punching them in the face until they were bloody red. His get back has to be recorded in the history books. My favorite part is when Obito asks himself where he is, and the next page is just a huge bloody mess with corpse everywhere, with him standing on a pool of blood with a corpse tree above his head, and he says, "I get it, I'm in hell." How could you possibly undermine Obito after watching him do something as devastating as this? Easily a top 3 Obito panel, which helped him sneak into the 10th spot. At 9th, I have an unexpected moment from Konoha's prideful green beast, Might Guy opening the 8th gate. The war arc is so long, it's not shocking to see a lot of characters getting impactful moments. But once they figured out only Senjutsu and Taijutsu could hurt Madara, you know exactly who didn't hesitate to fight. Guy made sure he had to finish the job and decided to open the 8th gate of death. When we did get a flashback of Might Dai teaching Might Guy a new technique called the 8th inner gate, which is a forbidden jutsu, but there's a self-rule to this technique. And that rule is the only time to open the 8th inner gate formation is protect something precious enough to give your life for. Guy sends a blow of punched air which sends Madara straight into the ground. Might Guy is now holding his own against Madara, which leaves Madara shocked, to the point where he attempts to shield himself, but Guy's just that strong. Madara gets up and says this is the first time since Hashirama that he's gotten this excited while fighting, almost implying that Might Guy can give him a chance. Might Guy only has so much time using the 8th gate of death that he puts it all into one last attack. Madara declares Might Guy as the strongest taijutsu user before taking on Might Guy's full force attack to the ribs. Unfortunately, Guy is left burnt to a crisp, and Madara barely lives as he laughs off Guy's final attack, having half his body destroyed. Definitely a jaw-dropping moment during the war arc. Rock Lee had no trouble getting on this list, let alone at 8th with such a tearful moment. Rock Lee's backstory of becoming a splendid ninja. It starts with young Rock Lee during the academy days being teased for wanting to become a ninja when he can't even use ninjutsu. But that never stopped Rock Lee from pushing forward. After becoming Genin and joining Team Guy, Neji, and Tenten, they were all asked about goals they want to accomplish in the near future. Rock Lee says, "I want to prove that even a person who can't use ninjutsu or genjutsu can still become a splendid ninja. It's my only goal." Of course, Neji was his biggest rival at the time and always defeated Lee during training, where he'd also give snarky comments like "give up" or "it's hopeless." One day during Lee's regular training regimens, he was being watched by Might Guy. After watching Lee hang his head low, Guy gives Lee a compliment that he's a genius of hard work. But everyone's negative comments have gone into Lee's head and he breaks down crying, saying that even during his missions, he can't keep his composure. My guy tells Lee that hard work isn't the only secret to success, but to also believe in himself that he can accomplish his goals. Guy's words of encouragement can also be used in the real world. Doesn't matter how hard you practice, train, study, or push yourself, you have to also believe you can do it to accomplish your goals. This moving moment easily holds the spot for 8th. At 7th, I have a moment that isn't talked about enough in the Naruto community, which is Shikamaru taking out Hidan. No question this moment had to be on the list. The suffering Hidan put my guy Shikamaru through just by killing his sensei was criminal. No doubt Team 6 was devastated when watching him pass in front of their very eyes, but it was no question that Shikamaru blamed himself the most. This man couldn't even focus on a simple game of shogi. Thankfully, Shikamaru was blessed to have one of the few only good father figures in the series, Shikaku, who helped straighten Shikamaru up, which I must add is an anime only moment, which adds more to Shikamaru's character. Hidan's biggest mistake was thinking Shikamaru would take it lying down. You know, my guy had to get it back in blood for Asuma. Shikamaru devised the smartest scheme into trapping and defeating Hidan that he actually made it look effortless, then finally giving Asuma the send-off he deserved. Shikamaru telling Hidan that Lord Jashin isn't going to pass judgment on him, but Shikamaru is the god passing judgment on Hidan was tough as hell. Studio Pierrot added an anime-only moment where Shikamaru lights up Asuma's sig one last time before getting Hidan, which is icing on the cake for this moment, slipping Shikamaru into the list. At 6, I have none other than Jiraiya dying. For me, it was such a shocking moment to see the GOAT pass like that. Even when Tsunade and Jiraiya were joking about it, I never thought the possibility of Jiraiya dying was even possible, especially right after watching Asuma die. But we gotta give the man props for taking on a 1v6 all by himself and also not have home court advantage. Plus, he sacrificed his life to get intel on the leader of the Akatsuki, Pain. The real one's not among them. This information did help Naruto during his fight with Pain at least. The fight between Jiraiya and Pain was great too. The change of jutsu plus Jiraiya using his own Sage Mode jutsu was so entertaining to watch. But it's what came after his passing which made it so tough as well. The whole village was devastated, especially Tsunade and Naruto. Bad enough Tsunade had 2 other loved ones pass, now Jiraiya as well. Don't get me started on Naruto, he was bent out of shape. Jiraiya was raising him like his own. But the death of Jiraiya profoundly affected Naruto, leading to his determination to become stronger and seek revenge against Pain. This event made a turning point in Naruto's character development and helped shape him into a more mature and capable shinobi, which is why it holds the spot for 6th. At 5th, I have Sasuke's I've Lost. This moment is a lot deeper than it seems, and it was during the conclusion of the final Naruto vs Sasuke fight. After both of them using their final energy for one last attack, they both end up destroying each other's arm and are immobilized on the floor. It's the conversation they have on the floor leading up to the moment that makes it so good. Sasuke asks Naruto why he keeps involving himself with him. Naruto responds saying, "Just that when I see you take on stuff and get all messed up, it kinda hurts." Sasuke fully understands why it hurts, as he remembers times back when they were younger, both alone and shunned from the village, except the 2 of them took 2 different approaches to it. One seeked attention and would purposely cause trouble, while the other would be more kept to himself and embrace the loneliness. So much to the point where when Sasuke saw himself inside Naruto, he would consider it a weakness. Sasuke talks more about the pain he felt and what it did to him mentally when he was younger. To add fuel to the fire, Sasuke started to see Naruto more like a comrade and began competing with him. Naruto said, "I kept chasing after you, I wanted to be strong like you, cool like you." But Sasuke said it was more like the opposite. Naruto was always ahead of him, just like his older brother Itachi. We then get this perfect panel of Sasuke saying, "I've lost," which doesn't just mean he lost 1v1 to Naruto, but he surrendered his previous ideals and decided to follow the future Naruto wants to create. I covered the surface level for this moment, but man, this is definitely a top 3 peak for Sasuke for sure. Speaking of Sasuke, the 4th moment is Itachi saying he'll always love Sasuke. At this point in the story, Sasuke was worse than a bipolar child with ADHD. His thoughts were all over the place, and having to fight Kabuto with Itachi reanimated was OD. After putting Kabuto in Genjutsu and releasing the reanimation jutsu, Itachi has a limited time to say his final words to Sasuke before he leaves. Instead of yapping, he shows Sasuke exactly what happened between Shisui, the elders, the Uchiha massacre, and meeting Obito all through Genjutsu, confirming exactly what Obito said was true. After revealing the truth, Itachi apologizes to Sasuke about always lying and never telling him the truth, purposely doing this to keep him at a distance and out of harm's way, but Itachi realizes that Sasuke had the potential to possibly change the past if he had been more involved. Itachi's final words are, you don't even have to forgive me, and no matter what you do from here on out, know this, I will always love you. The expression on Sasuke's face after listening to Itachi says it all. Such a breathtaking moment between the two brothers, and we haven't seen a heart-to-heart moment between them besides the flashbacks when they were younger. This moment also changes Sasuke's ideals heavily as he starts to question simple things like what a clan is or a village, but definitely worthy of a top 4 moment. At third, which could be interchangeable with 2 and 1, Naruto arriving on Pain. After the passing of Jiraiya, the Toad Sage decided that he would teach Naruto Sage Mode, just like Jiraiya and Minato had learned when they were younger. But while Naruto left to go learn, the village was under siege by the 6th Path of Pain, and Pain was not holding back as he quite literally destroyed the entire village. It was clearly a one-sided battle. Pain had completely dominated the entire village. Right when everyone thought all hope was over, Sakura uses her summoning jutsu and yells out a cry for Naruto. And with almost the worst timing ever, since technically the village is already destroyed, the goat himself appears like a Chad right into the battlefield with the other toads. And Naruto and the rest are in absolute disbelief as to what happened to the village, and without a second thought, Naruto jumps in and destroys one of the Pains with a single hit, and eventually fixes up the whole Pain situation. But it's the way he comes back to the village dripped out in a sage cloak, arms crossed, standing on 2 toads, plus his new Sage Mode eyes that makes this moment so iconic. At second, Madara versus the Shinobi Alliance. The first line this man says after finally coming back is, "Finally. Seems you've managed to successfully groom that brat Nagato." Straight to diss Nagato before even appreciating the life in front of him. Kabuto tells Madara that he has improved his abilities greater than they were when he was once alive, and that from there it was history. Madara jumped into the Shinobi Alliance and was giving out straight hands. This man had thousands of shinobis praying for their dear life. Jumping around, putting paper bombs on shinobi, slashing them with swords, using his Sharingan to attack those around him, sending a fireball jutsu to burn them to a crisp. He didn't even hesitate on pulling out his Susanoo to take care of some of the shinobi too. Madara was on demon time. Naruto even sends a Rasen Shuriken at Madara, but he absorbs it with his Rinnegan. After falling back, Kabuto attempts to take credit from Madara, telling him that he's the reason for his current strength. Madara quickly snaps back and says, "Do not misunderstand. This is not the power of your creation," as he sends down a planetary devastation to annihilate the rest of the forces. Somehow, Gaara, Naruto, and Inoki manage to halt the planetary devastation. Madara congratulates them until quickly mocking them and asking how they plan on stopping the second one, which they couldn't and took out most of the forces. Not having this moment in your top 5 is just criminal. At the number 1 spot, possibly the biggest shock for most anime fans when watching, is Rock Lee dropping his weights. You gotta understand, after watching Rock Lee easily beat Sasuke, we didn't get to see him in action again. He was just being his lovable, goofy self, until he finally got his spotlight against Gaara, an opponent who seemed impossible to defeat. But Rock Lee's always up for a challenge. The fight begins and Lee can't land a single hit because of Gaara's ultimate defense. My guy yells from the stands to take them off, confusing everyone including the audience, until we watch Lee move his leg warmers and underneath are leg weights. Obviously, some old-fashioned leg weights shouldn't improve someone's fighting abilities, until you learn just how overkill Might Guy and Lee love to train. As he drops the weights, it practically shakes the ground beneath everyone and creates a huge dust cloud next to Lee. The manga never states how heavy exactly those weights are, but you know anime fans love to analyze something even as dumb as Shinji at a hospital bed. But the estimated weight on one of Lee's legs is 700 to 1,050 pounds, or 317 kilograms to 476 kilograms per leg, which makes sense why a dust cloud like that formed, but sounds completely ridiculous that an anime character is casually walking around with this much weight on him. Might Guy gives him the go and Lee continues the fight. The fight begins to be one-sided as Lee's speed increases tenfold and he finally manages to break through Gaara's ultimate defense and land multiple hits, which was never done before since Gaara has never been wounded, even landing the primary Lotus on Gaara, which comfortably holds a spot for number 1 best moment in Naruto. At the end of the day, we all know Naruto is an incredible series with more than just 10 great moments, but a plethora of them. If you don't agree with this list or order, make sure to mention it in the comments. Also comment down below your favorite moment in Naruto. Since we're still a small channel, we read every single comment and will most likely respond to it as well. Make sure to like the video and subscribe for more content like this. I plan on streaming in Twitch in the near future, so go ahead and drop a follow, link in description. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.